Hi, I'm Mark from easylawnmowing.co.uk and this is the Hyundai 2800 watt garden shredder. In this video we're going to take a look at its features and functions, we're going to see how well it performs out cutting some branches in my garden, and by the end of this review you'll know whether this is the right garden shredder for you and your garden. So before we take a closer look at this Hyundai garden shredder, we need to get it unboxed. So let's do that now. Let's see what comes supplied in the box. Then we'll do the assembly and then we'll take the shredder out and test it out in my garden. So let's get it unboxed. Let's see what comes supplied. Okay, so that's our Hyundai garden shredder unboxed. So what do you actually get supplied in the package? So naturally you're going to get the wheel. So this is a wheeled shredder, which is really nice. So if you're taking this down to the end of the garden, it's going to make light work of that because this is just over 20 kilograms. So it's not something you're going to want to carry around. So that's nice to see. You've also got the plunger there. That's for pushing the smaller branches down into the hopper, and we'll be having a look at that later. Naturally, you get the instruction manual. So it's very important when you're operating one of these machines to read the safety instructions. So please, please, please read the safety instructions before you even turn this machine on. You're also going to get the assembly instructions there, but I'm going to show you in this video how to assemble it. So that might make it a little bit clearer than the instructions in the book. So we're going to do that next. We're going to get this assembled. You've also got a bar here, and that's really just the axle for the wheels. And again, I'll show you that during the assembly. So you've also got, so if I just open that out, lift this, you can see the machine itself under there. So that's the actual, this is the hopper and the actual shredder itself. You've got a great 60-litre collection box here, hard collection box, and we're going to see how well this chops up a little bit later. So really that's it in terms of what you get in the box. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get this assembled, and then we're going to have a look a little bit closer at the specification. So let's get it assembled now. Okay, so to start the assembly, the easiest way I've found to assemble this Hyundai garden shredder is to basically just turn it up onto its head, onto the hopper here. So what you need to do is just open out the sides here, like so, and then I'm just going to turn it up on its head, like so, and then that allows you just to bring this frame over the top like so, and then you can start to use the axle here to get the wheels on. So the easiest way to do that is just to undo the bolt here on each end, and I'll show you the order in which they go on. So you basically take them off on both sides, okay, and then that just threads through like so. And then the first thing to go on is the washer, then the metal tube, and then that will allow you to put your wheel on, your first wheel. I'll just grab one of those. So that's going to go on with this piece that sticks out. That's going to go on first. And then the nut goes on like so. So we just hand tighten that for now. So there is a locking nut. And then I'm just going to do the same on this side. So if I just spin that round so you can see. Just like that, grab the wheel. So, same as the other wheel, wash it on first, and this metal tube in on next, and then our next wheel, like so, and then the nut. And then using the spanner, you just tighten that. So naturally, if I'm going to turn this now, the whole axle here will turn. So all you do is using this hex key, so you just pop that through like so, and then it just allows you to hold the axle there and just tighten that up like so. Do the same on the other side. Okay, and that's it in terms of the wheels. So you can see there they rotate nicely. And then you've just got these hubcaps that pop on. So you've got holes here on the wheels, and they just simply line up with the holes like so, and then you just clip in. I'll just do that on the other side. You should just hear a little click, and that clicks in, and that's ready to go. So that's pretty much it in terms of the assembly. So we'll get this turned over, we'll get the collection box in, and then we'll just discuss the specifications in a little more detail. Okay, so I hope you could see there how easy the assembly was of this garden shredder from Hyundai. Really was just a case of putting the wheels on, so really straightforward, and I hope the video there helped you to see how to do that. So what about the specifications? So as I mentioned earlier, this is the 2800 watt motor, so there is a smaller version Hyundai do, and naturally Hyundai do petrol garden shredders as well, but we're just looking here at this electric shredder. So as I said, it's 2800 watts, so nice and powerful, and we're going to test that later. So this will cut branches up to 4.4 centimeters or 44 millimeters, and we're going to find a branch exactly at that diameter, and we're going to put it through the shredder and see how well it performs. We're also going to put some lighter material through, and we're going to use this feeder or this plunger to put the material in, and we're going to have a look at the results that we get in the box. So the collection box on this shredder is 60 litres, which is a really good size, and it's a hard box as well, which is really nice. It does have a locking button that will need to be locked in place in order for this shredder to work, so that's a nice safety feature. Many people that have garden shredders are worried about when they get blocks, and naturally there is a potential for them to get clogged or blocked with branches. So what's nice about this Hyundai is you do have a reverse switch, so you can reverse the cutting blade, and that will allow any debris to reverse back and come out of the cutter. If that doesn't work, what's really nice about this Hyundai is you can remove the plate here very easily. So this back plate can come off with the key provided. So you simply undo these 4 bolts here, and that gives you access to where the cutting blade is and the cutting plate is. So if there's anything lodged in there, that makes it easy to remove. So that's really nice to see. So as I mentioned earlier, just over 20 kilograms. You've got the wheels here, you've got a really good handle, and that's going to really allow you to move this around the garden really nicely, so there's no lifting involved. So in terms of storage, once this is assembled, if you do want to fold this down, you're going to need to just do the reverse of the assembly. So you just remove the axle, remove the wheels, fold the bars over, and then the actual box just sits on top of the hopper itself, and that will reduce the storage if you want to put this in the shed or garage over winter. So that's pretty much it in terms of the specification. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this out, and we're going to cut some branches, different size branches, and we're going to see how well it performs. So we've come out to my garden now to test this garden shredder from Hyundai. So what is the purpose of this shredder? Why have we got this shredder? So we've basically got bags of cuttings here, as you can see, twigs and branches from all of the trees and shrubs that we've got around the garden. And we've been trying to get rid of it for weeks. So we're hoping that what we're going to do with the cuttings from this shredder is we're going to use it as a mulch around the garden to help prevent the weeds from coming through. So naturally, when we've tested it, I'll show you the results, and I'll show you the type of cuttings that or chippings that you're going to get from this shredder. So we're going to try all different types of branches to see how well this performs. So the way this shredder works is it actually uses a plate and a cutter, and that cutter needs to be adjusted to the plate to ensure that you get a really good cut. So what you actually want is that cutter to actually touch the plate. So there is going to be a little bit of wear on that plate, which is all down here inside the machine. So in order to get it adjusted correctly, you have this dial here, and turning this clockwise reduces the gap between that plate and the cutter. So what you're looking to hear, and I'll show you this in a minute when we turn it on, is you want to hear a slight grinding noise, so you know that that cutter is touching the plate and that there's not going to be any gaps or anything that's not going to be cut properly. Okay, so I'll show you that in a moment. The other point to note is that you actually get a 10-meter power lead. I didn't mention this earlier when we were going over the specification, which is so impressive. So most garden shredders will come with 3 meters, so you're going to need an extension cable. I've got a socket here in the shed, so no extension cable needed. I can go and plug this straight in. So really, really impressive with that. The only thing you don't get supplied with this shredder is safety goggles, and this is essential. So you're going to need gloves and you're going to need safety goggles. Do not operate this without any safety goggles on, and as I mentioned earlier, please read the safety instructions in the user manual before you operate this. Okay, so that's it. Really excited to see how well this shredder performs. We've got a wide range of branches here to test it on, so let's get it switched on, let's get it adjusted, and let's see how well it performs. Okay, so we're ready to go. So I'm going to turn the machine on. So naturally you've got your gloves and your goggles on before you start the machine. So I'm in the forward position on this button here. So I'm going to press start. And I don't know if you could hear that on the video, but there's not that grinding noise. So I believe the blade will need to be adjusted. So if you just do quarter turns or half turns at a time, turn back on. There, I don't know if you can hear that little bit of a grinding noise there on the video, but that's what you're aiming for. So we now know that the blade is adjusted nicely to the plate. So let's go, let's see how well we get on with this shredder. Okay, so I hope you could see there how well this garden shredder from Hyundai did at cutting the branches and the twigs that I've got here. Absolutely super impressed with the performance, how it just takes the cuttings. Occasionally I did need to use the plunger on the softer material, but all in all, really impressed. So as with all my reviews, I do always go over the pros and cons of any product. So in terms of the cons, I really struggled to find any cons with this particular shredder. The only thing that I could think of was the fact that you don't get any safety goggles supplied like you do with some of the other shredders, but these are available in DIY stores or online if needed, but do not operate without those. So that's the only thing at this point I could find that was a slight negative with the shredder, and it's not even with the shredder itself. So in terms of the pros of this shredder, so what you're getting the wheels, which is really nice. You could see me wheeling it down the end of the garden there. This is just over 20 kilograms, so really nice. The fact that this is on wheels, you can just wheel it to wherever you want. You've got an amazing 10-meter power lead with this. I don't think you're going to find that with any other garden shredder. I haven't. I've tested a couple of garden shredders and they've just had a 3-meter power cable, so no extension lead required with that. So what about the performance? So let's take a look, and to be honest, I am so impressed with the results of this shredder. I mean, if you look at how well that's cut into small pieces, that is just amazing. And I would say this is probably the best shredder that I've actually tested in terms of its performance and its cut performance and how well it's actually cut that. So this will most definitely go onto the garden to help suppress the weeds. So this is not going to be going into the recycle bin. So that's doing, again, our little bit for the environment as well as helping us around the garden. So yes, super impressed. You're going to get a 3-year warranty with this Hyundai. Most other garden shredders, they're going to give you a 2-year warranty. So all in all, highly recommended. So if you would like to see a full review of this shredder, then head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. I will keep that review updated. So if I do notice any long-term issues with this shredder, I will update that review and let you know there. So please head on over to that review before you purchase this shredder, just to check that everything is, over the longer period, is actually working fine. But I can't see any issues with this shredder at all. And there's also a discount code over on the easylawnmowing.co.uk website that you can use to get a discount on this already very reasonably priced garden shredder. Okay, so if you did find this review useful, could I please ask that you click that thumbs up button below this video? It would be much appreciated. And why not hit the subscribe button as well, and hit the bell icon, and you'll get notified of any future videos that I do. As I say, any questions, please put it in the comments box below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. But thanks very much for watching this video review, and I'll see you in the next one.